My name is Eoin, and today I'm going to be taking you through a super cool yet natural look that is suitable, functional, yet high fashion. Our haircutting philosophies rarely change when it comes to planning and creating structure at the beginning of any haircut. In order to maximize my efficiency and effectiveness, I took all the fixed factors into consideration and reverse engineered my entire process. I sectioned the haircut out into 4 zones: the top, the 2 side panels, and the back. I chose a square section through the top and used the back corners of this square panel to section out both of the side panels, directing the section to a point behind the ears but not directly on top of them. I began my cutting process through the back panel as it's the largest zone and will give me the overall length for the rest of the haircut. For this reason, my initial incision is of extreme importance as it will determine the entire haircut's structure and silhouette. I chose diagonal sections, working a square cutting line from the right hand side of the head towards the left. I used the length at the exterior as a reference as I wanted to maintain as much of the hair as possible. This will result in a slightly inverted layer which will accentuate the hair at the neckline. I continued this technique using 360-degree thinking and the mechanics to create a round shape horizontally through the back panel. Once working this technique throughout the entire panel on both sides, I then moved to the side panels. The same principles applied here in regards to keeping the hair longer at the hairline. Therefore, I used that uncut hair as my guide and took a reference from the back panel to create a square vertical cutting line. I continued to take vertical sections throughout these side panels and over-directing each one back to the previously cut section throughout. Once I completed the process on both side panels, I then unclipped the top. The shape I created in the top panel is both round vertically and horizontally. I created a profile guide directly down the center of the head in order to establish my length and shape, using the back panel and length at the fringe as a reference. Once establishing my guide, I worked vertical sections throughout the top on either side of the profile guide, and pulling both sides of the section together to meet in the middle. When they do this on a round surface, guess what they create? You got it, it's a round shape. Usually you would see me remain on one side throughout the process of cutting the entire top panel. But because my shape is both round vertically and horizontally, it allows me to be able to switch sides and prioritize comfort, as I don't need to prioritize visibility. Once both sides were complete, I visually went through and checked all of the connection points between the zones. When I did this, I point cut out any discrepancies. finish the wet shape, I visually went through and randomly razored out the entire exterior to create some character and creative pieces. I used my trimmer to tidy up any excess hair on the nape and prepared the hair to be dried using some matte paste as a pre-product. I applied my product in the wet shape so that I didn't need to apply any in the dry shape. To dry, style and finish the look, I chose my Dyson Supersonic and the diffuser attachment set to a low speed and a low heat setting. Ideally, it would even be better if it can be no heat at all and on the cool setting. As you can now see in the finished look, this layering process has really taken a lot of internal weight out of the look and has really complemented Joseph's strong and distinctive features. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you can add some of these techniques and processes to your own skill set. To watch more tutorials just like this, browse through the entire resource library, which now contains over 100 lessons. Take care and happy creating.